Engrossed in his work, Will hadn't heard the doorbell, the knocker, or their shouts beneath his third-floor office window. He hadn't heard anything at all but the inspired rhythms of his own powerful lines. It was a good day. Until the phone on his chaotic desk rang, destroying his concentration. Fuck. A wrecking ball might as well have smashed right through his window. He let the machine pick it up. It was Zoe, on her cell, which was reserved for emergencies. "Dad, open the door! We're freezing!" Judy hadn't understood it all. "I don't get it. How could you forget your own kids were coming home for lunch at 12 o'clock? They come home for lunch every day at 12 o'clock. What did you put the chain lock on for anyway?" He couldn't explain about the chain lock. He didn't know why it helped him to erect these small barriers against the outside world. He feared he might be in danger of becoming a recluse. Lots of writers had become recluses, and no wonder. "And don't give me any of this creative flow business. I write books too, you know." This, of course, was a loaded gun of a statement. Judy wrote books on investing, how-to books for the teeming masses that longed, no, deserved to be rich. Her books were instant bestsellers, written in a chatty, informative, accessible style. Will couldn't bear to read them. Her clunky prose assaulted the ear, and then there was the content. It was painful to him that there would always be a huge market for such books because there would always be teeming masses of people who longed to be rich. The market for works of poetry was somewhat smaller. He left the chain off the door and returned to the kitchen to load the breakfast dishes into the dishwasher. He let the dog out into the backyard for a pee. Then he wiped the table, the granite counter, and the stainless steel stove. He spent considerable time cleaning up the grease splatters from the French toast. Next, he went downstairs to the basement and put in a load of wash, carefully sorting the laundry first. Whites, colors, darks. But then there was nothing left to procrastinate with. Back in the kitchen once again, he poured himself another cup of coffee and stood staring balefully out the sliding glass doors at Tuffy, rooting around the backyard like a pig searching for truffles, which unfortunately made Will think of the phrase, "casting pearls before swine," which reminded him of the near futility of all his poetic endeavors, and set him up nicely for a morning of abject failure at his desk. Finally, Will called the dog back in and made his way up the stairs toward his office. He crossed the second-floor landing with its antique grandfather clock, gleaming thanks to Nina from Serbia, their taciturn cleaning lady who came once a week. He kept going up the next flight of stairs, carefully sipping coffee as he went. By the time his head popped up into the large third-floor loft that he shared with his wife, they each had an office at opposite ends. But fortunately, she only used hers evenings and weekends. He could already sense that it wasn't going to be a good day, creatively speaking. Would it be ennui today, or despair? He paused halfway up the stairs, a gopher looking out at the world with suspicion, surveying the loft with weary resignation. The front of the loft, with a big window overlooking the tree-lined street, was his wife's territory. Her desk was large and tidy. So pristine, it looked like nothing ever got done there, but Will knew that was not the case. His wife was nothing if not productive. Her bookshelves were tidy, too, her filing cabinets plump with orderly, color-coded files. An expensive Persian carpet softened her side of the floor, but he preferred the bare hardwood, so it appeared almost as if there was a line drawn down the middle of the floor between the two spaces. His desk was at the other end. He had a window, too, overlooking the backyard, which allowed light, infinite in its variations, to fall across his desk in the afternoons. In summer, the soporific, shadowy play of leaves on blank paper could hold him fast for hours. In winter, he liked to stare out at the trees, stark against a leaden sky, and imagine words falling down from the clouds and onto his page. He liked to think of his end of the loft as a place of creative ferment, though he had to admit that not much got done there these days. An observer would simply note the mess. Papers smeared all over the desk and balled up on the floor.